Hi, I'm Larry French, and this is Sonny, and we're gonna, this program is really about behavior issues and how to correct them, and actually how to correct them before they actually happen. Where too many of us, we let the horse get really, into this position where by the time we try to fix it, he's too tight, he's too stiff, and he's got all of his momentum going in that direction, and we can't stop it. It's like had this lady one time tell me that she'd gotten bucked off her horse, and she was on a trail ride, and she was going down this trail, and she said, I noticed that my horse had seen something, and so I could picture her, and which she did. She just stayed focused on the horse's head, and she was riding like this, something like this, and she's watching the horse's head like, I don't know, I mean, I guess she's thinking that maybe he'll stop, I don't know, and she said, I just knew he was fixing to buck, and she said, and then he went to bucking, and I couldn't do a one-range stop or anything. Well, when you think your horse is going to buck, then you need to do a one-range stop, okay? So this is kind of a mental thing too, is that we need to be mentally prepared. Always awareness, always aware of what we feel with our seat, our legs, our hands, and so that we don't let it get to the point of no return, I guess you'd say. So first thing is the hindquarters. I want to go over with you a disengagement, and now we've got two other videos in here that you're going to see later, that you're going to see me actually with a horse that's acting up and stuff, and I'm using disengagement and stuff to control this situation. But I want to go over it with you just kind of at a standstill, and so that you can start from here and practice this, because I know a lot of you are beginners, and you've probably seen this in books, and you've probably tried it, but you just haven't got it down yet. So but the disengagement is going to be a tool that you're going to use to correct most horse behaviors, because when a horse is going to buck or rear or run off or go a direction you don't want to go, it's because of resistance in the body. Okay, now in the groundwork, I'm sure that you got, if you bought this program, you got the free program too. So you've seen how we worked on that resistance from the nose to the tail. So the only, as far as feeling resistance with your body, is you've got to be soft in the saddle. You can't be riding with your knees in. You see, when I push my knees in, look what it does to my upper body. It brings me forward. It puts more weight on the front end of the horse. And now I can't use my legs. I'm tight. My legs are like this now. My knees are turned in. My toes are turned in. Now my horse is even starting to get uncomfortable as I speak. So now I'm squeezing, and now my legs are so tight I can't disengage him. So you've got to relax. You just got to relax and be soft in the saddle, and so that if you need to move the shoulders, you can shift your leg up easily to here, the hindquarters here, side pass, or a leg yield here. This is the number 1 position, this is the number 2 position, and this is the number 3 position. Number 3, disengaging. Number 2, a leg yield or a side pass. And number 1, the shoulders. Okay? Now actually with Sonny, I don't even have to go that far. I can just do this here, here, and here with Sonny. Okay? Or Digger. And But at the start, when you're teaching your horse, I want you to bring that leg way back here. And actually, I'm going to be doing that here in a second with Sonny. This is how I want you to do it. I want you to over-exaggerate, okay? And then you'll start gradually working your leg back down to where you're just in you're in this big area, now you're in a smaller box, okay? Okay, so disengagement. What I want to do is, first, let's talk about how we're going to hold our reins. Now, if your horse is thinking about bucking and you reach down here like this, see, you've got to reach a long ways. Your butt's coming out of the saddle, okay? And you're leaning forward. Now you're putting pressure on the head, and you're going to make him, have a lot more fear. So when that butt comes out, now he's really frightened because you're smothering him. Now he's going to buck, and boom, there goes your butt, and there you go on the ground. Okay, so let me show you how to take care of that problem. All right, so if I'm riding through here and I feel like my horse is going to buck, I'm going to raise with my right hand these reins. And see, now all I got to do, I can keep my butt in the saddle. Now I can reach out here, and if I have to, I can reach back down here a little bit more, and I can bring the head on around. Now Sonny's getting kind of tight with me here. So see all this resistance in this neck? Now this is something that I got to work on, and plus you're going to start seeing him get softer when I start disengaging him. All right? Okay, so here I feel like my horse is fixing to take off, or maybe my horse is going to stop. Maybe we're leaving the barn and his buddies and he doesn't want to go. And I can feel he's fixing to stop. I'm going to raise this up. I'm going to reach here. And I'm going to bring, for a disengagement, I'm going to bring the rein towards my belly button. On the lateral flexion, we would go to here. Now to the disengagement, I'm going to have it coming towards my belly button. And then I'm going to push my horse right here. Now, Sonny is extremely stiff today. He's really stiff. So, I haven't rode him in a while. So, I'll have to get out here and I'm going to have to work with him on this. But let's say that your horse is stiff too on this side. Okay? Now, Sonny, I tell you the truth, most of his life he's been a little stiffer on this left side. But anyway, let's say that your horse is really stiff, and instead of just keep asking him to disengage, I'm going to ask my horse to walk off, and I'm just going to do some circles. And then what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take my left leg and I'm going to push it right into number 2 position. See, I'm kind of getting a leg yield here. And as you can see, the nose, when I push, the nose is starting to come to the inside. That pressure, I'm getting this bend, and he's starting to soften up. So I would get out there. Actually, this is what I would do with Sonny, and I'll probably do this tomorrow. I'll get out there in the arena, and we're going to work on this side right here. So let's say that you're riding and you're going away from the barn. Your horse is starting to get, you can feel your horse starting to slow down almost to a stop. And your horse, is tight on this side. So then what am I going to do? I'm going to have the left hand down here. I'm going to reach down with the right side. And I'm going to bend Sonny around. He's kind of tight on this side too, but not near as bad as on the other side. And you can see the twist also. We got to work on that twist. Okay? And then I'll release. Now, the next thing is having control of the softness in the paw. If your horse is high-headed, then that means he's going to have a really tight neck. And he's going to be hard to control, and he's going to be very uncomfortable. The saddle's not going to set properly on him, and it's just, he's going to be in a miserable condition. So we want to teach our horse to yield. And the way we're going to yield at the pole, and the way we're going to do that is I'm just kind of bumping him here with this left hand. Bump and release, bump and release, bump and release. And it is easier to do it with a snaffle. There. And once he gets where I want him, I release. Okay? See, some of us actually train our horses to be high-headed and we don't know it. If we go to the stop and the horse's head is up and then we release, we just told him, hey, this is where your release is. So let's do this again. All right. Bump, release, bump, release, bump, release, bump, release, boom. And he was soft, so I released it. If he'd have been pushing on this on his nose, then I would have held it until he is softened up. Now, why do we want this? Other than it's going to keep our horse balanced when he's in a vertical position and in alignment. The reason we want this is because when we have softness at the pole, then we got vertical softness. You see, I don't want to disengage until I've got the nose to the inside. I want to bend him at the pole. So I'm using the bit or the halter to move his body. When I've got the nose to the inside, then I can use my legs to move the body. If he's straight, he's going to be stiff, and then I can't use my legs to move the body. It's just like right here. Let's go to the rib cage. This is the number 2 position. I want to get him vertically soft. Okay, slightly to the inside, and I'm going to keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, there, until I get the side pass or the leg yield. Okay? I'll just keep pushing, and I got to keep that bend in the body. If I don't, then he's going to be too straight for me to get him to yield. So these are things that you really need to learn. It needs to become a skill. Like right here, I'm using this inside leg on number 2 because now my number 2 position is not necessarily to get the horse to yield off my leg. He is yielding off my leg, but he's coming around my leg. I want him to bend around. See, that's getting me some softness on the bend. Okay? Does that make sense? Just keep watching this video, watch it over and over, and if you have any problems, send me a comment or a message, and I'll help you. So, vertical softness. Now we hold our vertical softness. Now I want to go to the left. Now I've got his head, his nose slightly to the left. I want to go to the right. So now I can use my leg to push him over to the right. Okay? Now I want to do a leg yield. So I'm going to get his nose, I'm going to position his head with my bit, and then I move his body over with my leg. Alright? Now, I want to back up. I'm going to get him vertically soft. I'll hold this right here. This is all I'm going to do. Now I'm going to ask for the back up. Now, I'm just asking with my seat, and he gave me the backup. Now, if I was to ask him and he didn't give it to me, let's get him vertically soft again. Now, if I was to sit back in my seat, which he's backing up for me, but let's say that he didn't, all I'm going to do is I'm going to just bump him with my legs. See, I never had to move my hands. All the hands did, it did their job. It got him vertically soft. And sometimes, he got a little tight, well, then I would just go to bumping him again. Okay? Okay. Let's see, we've done the pole, the neck, and now you can see Sonny is starting to get softer in the neck. We've done disengaging, We've done the midsection, the rib cage. So now we got to do the shoulders. Now the shoulders is an area that the horse will really try to dominate you with. You know, it's got the big motor behind it, the hindquarters. And okay, so you're riding and your horse wants to turn around to go back to the barn. Well, if your horse doesn't yield to the shoulders, then you're going to have a lot of problems. So let's say we're riding through here and Sonny decides he wants to go left. So he goes left. What I'm going to do, I'm going to lift up on that rein and I'm going to push that shoulder over. Okay? So that gives me control. That gives me the option, because I used my rein. Getting back over here. Now my hands got the horse's head. Got Sonny's head in the right position, and I was able to control the body by lifting and pushing the shoulder over so that now we can go the direction I want to go. Okay? Now listen to me. We got this all set up because we used the bit to position the head. You follow me? Like then I wanted to go right with the shoulder, so I positioned the nose to the left, and that gave me that bend. And once I get the bend in the body, then I'm going to get a softer horse. I'm going to be able to take this leg and move this body away from my leg. Okay? Or because of us. You know, it's because of us. When you just seen me be able to move his shoulders and move the rest of his body by only applying, well, let's say I had a bit in his mouth this time. I would have only been applying maybe 10, 15, 20% pressure on the tongue just to get that head position. The rest of it was in my legs. The other 80 or so % was in my legs and my seat of moving the body away. Okay? So if we can just get that mindset, like, you know, Larry, I got to get better. Okay, Larry, this is what you got to do. You just got to think 20%, you know, just 20% in his mouth. Okay, I got to get softer with my hands, Larry. I got to get softer with my hands. All right, all I want to do is use one rein, bump him with just one rein, not two, just one. And that's what I was doing earlier. I was bumping him with one, not two. But I did have kind of a steady pull just to keep, when I'm bumping him, just to keep from the horse bringing his head all the way around. Okay? And then once I got the vertical softness, then I held that softness, and he actually softened up too. Your horse will soften up. And now I let the legs take over. Okay? And I just hold that. Just ounces of pressure with my fingers is all it is. Just ounces of pressure. And then I let the legs do the work. We can't sit here and jerk and yank and pull on our horses. That's applying way too much pressure. Way too much. I mean, you're talking about using your arms and your shoulders, pulling on your horse and yanking on him. My horse is getting out of control and I'm going to pull. And all that does is that causes your horse to panic and push on that pressure. And he's got a lot more than you do. And that's going to get that horse to go forward faster or start bucking or something like that. And if we're just riding, say on a nice day and we're riding and I've got a bit in his mouth and I'm riding like this the whole time, I'm pulling on him. Now, Sonny yielded. So he got the yield, he got the release of pressure. But what happens a lot of times, we're pulling with two reins and the horse is sticking his nose out or he's bringing his head up. But we're afraid that he's going to take off with us. or he's going to do something, and we want to hold him like we're holding him still. Finally, it might be 10 minutes, it might be an hour. Eventually, that horse is going to go, hey, I've taken all of this that I can. And that's what I'm talking about. You know, we cause these behavior issues. So we need to be aware of that. We don't know it. Some of us don't know it. You know, and we just need to be aware of it and work on you know, keeping the resistance out of the body, being aware of when we see resistance, just like starting out with Sonny. He was really tight, really on both sides, more the left than the right. And so we've done some little circles and stuff in here, using my legs to bend him, not my hands, using my legs to bend him and to get him softer. All right, guys, it just takes sometimes. We just have to stop and we have to think. And we have to relax our mind. You know, hey, you all, if you bought this program, you're a good person. You know, I'm not, when I talk about we cause these behaviors, I do too. Sometimes there's things that I cause that I have to be aware of. And I've got to quickly change, okay? But it's the same thing. It's just that we love our horses and we want the best and we want to be safe. And even some of you may be parents that just bought your kid his first horse. And you don't know what in the world is, you know, what he needs to do and stuff. I have parents all the time calling me and needing advice. So this right here is the main thing. Check the resistance. Always be aware of the resistance in the horse's body. Now you've got a video on the correct position and how to use your hands and how to use your legs. Okay? Before we end, one more thing is turning your horse. Okay? Hey, y'all are getting a lot of stuff added to this video here because this was supposed to have been short, but a lot shorter. But I just keep thinking of things that I want to tell you, okay? And the next thing is that when you're turning your horse, don't pull back on the rein like this, because that just tightens. Now, like Sonny knows to give, and Sonny would be able to yield in a nice soft yield. But a lot of our horses don't know to give, and what they're going to do is they're going to push forward and you're going to keep pulling back. So take your hand either like this to bend them to the right, to make a right turn, or to lift up on that rein to get them. Now Sonny's not wanting to do it. Just lift up on that rein. Give slack on this outside rein. Lift and then release. See, lift. See, what he's doing is he's turning right there at the pole. He's bending at the pole. Go to the left, lift. Okay? Go to the right, lift. Okay? All right? You don't have to pull. You don't have to jerk. See, just practice. See how light you can do it. Say, this time I'm going to try it with just one finger. Or a half a finger if you have a half a finger, okay? All right. And then also, when you lift your right leg, push on number 2. And eventually, see, you lift, push, lift, push. Actually, you know, I think anytime you use your rein, you should be using your leg too. But eventually, this time, see what happens. I'm just going to push. I'm not lifting. And see how he's bringing his head on around. So, wow, man, I didn't have to use my bit right there. I didn't have to put any pressure on its tongue because I could use my leg. All right. Rhonda, is there anything I'm missing?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. This has been you still got, I don't know, several more videos to watch. And they're all going to be preparing you for these horse behaviors. But, you know, the main thing is stop and first, you know, don't blame your horse. First go, hey, what's causing this? And if you can't think of it, ask us. We'll help you. We'd love to. You know, we want to serve you. So ask us and video it and send it to us so we can give you an answer. And then we'll tell you the why and then what to do. How about that? Okay? All right. Thank you. God bless you. God bless your passion. The horse.